It's Michael from Yam here. I just wanted to talk about something that's been bugging me for a while. And one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of and start Yam was to give young Christians in general, a platform to just speak about issues and stuff that's going on in the world. And that's something I wanted to hear. Like I didn't see enough platforms or enough credible institutions or channels that had Christians talking about today's issues. And maybe they did exist, but the opinions I felt sometimes were wishy-washy and I didn't agree with and I didn't relate to. So I thought, instead of looking for an outlet to provide that for me, why not create one and encourage other people to join and be a part. With that said, race and racism is a hot button issue at the moment. Being a student of history, and let me declare I'm not an expert, I'm still learning, but I am a student of history. I wanted to just delve into a little bit of that. I can't get into everything today. I can't talk about everything in what I'm going to say now, but I just wanted to address at least a piece of it. And let me just start by saying I only believe in one race, and that's the human race. We come from different cultures, ethnicities, nations, as the Bible calls it, but there is one race, and that's the human race, and we're all God's children. So this is addressed to the Christian community, black, white, green, yellow, whatever color you might call yourself, but like I said, we're all God's children. On that, we have the issue of the flag and American anthem and Colin Kaepernick kneeling and stuff like that, and I just want to give my perspective as a part of the African diaspora in the UK, my perspective for my American brothers and sisters, my perspective in the UK, how I feel about race and racism. So I just want to, speak about that in brief. This whole kneeling thing and this patriotism thing now, I only pledge allegiance to Jesus Christ and His truth and His righteousness. So for me, I wouldn't bow to the flag. I wouldn't pledge to a flag. I wouldn't sing an anthem, British anthem, I wouldn't sing for it. I feel that the British Empire and all it represents is a negative for my people and in my history. And I think it would actually be a disrespect for my ancestors for me to even be patriotic. Yes, I'm born in Britain, and yes, I do live in England, and I abide by its laws, but I don't owe the British people or empire nothing. Everything I have is from God, and I feel like Americans should feel like that. And there's some Americans who feel like black people should be appreciative for the opportunities America provided them. No, God provided them that opportunity. It wasn't no man, it wasn't no woman. All good things come from God. Everything perfect comes from God. So I don't feel like I'm grateful to any man for anything. And furthermore, the fact that I'm in the West means I've been denied of certain privileges such as generational wealth, etc., etc. So what I don't understand is why any black person would be patriotic in America anyway. That flag, that anthem, and everything America stands for is anti-black people. It was built on the backs of free labor, and that free labor today is why some people are still rich and are still wealthy and are still benefiting off that free labor. So why would any black person be patriotic to America? And I do believe in conscientious objection. So I don't believe Christians should go to war, and that's controversial. And I'm sorry if you've had family who may have fought in the war and died in the war. I'm not gonna pass any judgment on that, but I don't believe Christians have to fight. Jesus said my people don't fight. So I'm paraphrasing. So sorry, if my kingdom were of this world, my people would fight. They don't we as Christians, we deal in the spirit realm. We don't deal in the physical realm. We don't fight physical fights. All of our fights are spiritual. So on that level, I'm not trying to hear that, oh, people have died for this. No. That was their choice. But I personally, I'm not fighting for no country, and that's your choice. But like I said, why as a black person are you patriotic? Why would you be patriotic to a country, to a flag that has never had your best interest at heart, that still continues to oppress you. Like, why would I be pledging allegiance to my oppressor? That's like the children of Israel trying to go back to Egypt, which God told them not to do. He told them not to try and get help from Egypt in the various stages after they left Egypt. And when they were crying to go back, it was an offense to God after they left, after the slavery. So it doesn't make no sense to me. And also for my white brothers and sisters, let me just explain something to you that might help you in your interaction and discourse with your black brothers and sisters. You don't have a right to tell black people, especially in the West, how to feel about racism and slavery and the legacy of that. Like, you get to listen to how I feel, but you don't get to have an opinion. Like, you can be like, okay, fair enough, but you don't ever understand and could never understand what it is like to be a black person. Let me just help you with that. So when we're explaining to you how we feel, you can nod and smile, and we can converse, and we can go backwards and forwards, and we can discuss what each other don't know, but you don't get to tell us how to feel. And this is a large part of the problem. And a lot of you white evangelical Americans are trying to support Trump like he's God's man. Yes, God does allow any leader and every leader to go into position and power, and no leader gets into power without God's knowledge or without his approval. But he's not God's man. Like, he's not no Christian. Like, stop trying to delude yourselves and to delude other people like that Trump is somehow God's man. No, he's not. He's a sinner. Yeah, just like every other president have been. And the office of the president is desecrated anyway, because a lot of them belong to secret society, skull and bones, Freemasons and all that. And in fact, the American founding fathers weren't Christian. Look up the Hellfire Club. Look up the history of America. This is why you have certain signs on your dollars and on your money. So, like, just stop the foolishness. Yeah, America's not a Christian country. It never was. Yeah, it may have had some Puritans back in the day. I'm not saying there's no Christians in America, but it was started by satanic people who worshipped Satan. Like, do your research. But to bring it all back, I pledge allegiance to Christ. I pledge allegiance to no man. I don't pledge allegiance to a race. I pledge allegiance to Christ. But I also believe in the truth, right? So I just wanted to just say that, like, understand where some of us are coming from when it comes to certain issues. Like, don't try and tell us how to feel as black people. We are your brothers and sisters in Christ, and we're your brothers and sisters in humanity. Everybody who is not of my skin color, because I don't even believe in the word black anyway. I believe in of African descent or wherever you're from. But stop trying to tell us how to feel. Try and understand how we feel, and that will actually bring more unity than you trying to tell us how we should feel. You have no idea what it's like to not know who your great-great-grandfather is or was, or where he came from. Some of you may not know that as well, but you have no idea what it's like to walk down the street and someone looks at you who's not of the same race as you, and they look at you badly, and you're thinking, is that racism? Is it not? Are they just having a bad day? Like, the most freest time I've had is when I'm in Jamaica, or when I've been to Africa, maybe the one time I did go, because I know if someone doesn't like me, it's not because of the color of my skin. They just don't like me. Like, you have no idea to go to a job and think, oh, did I not get it because I'm black? Like, the psychological oppression of racism is something very real. So please, if you are not black, don't try to tell us how to feel. Like, just stop it. Because this is one of the biggest things that causes a lot of disunity, and why a lot of black people don't want to even interact outside their race, because there's a lot of ignorance. So, like, and I'm speaking this in love, and because I believe that, as the Bible says, his house shall be a house of prayer for all nations. So I believe that, the greatest thing you could see is a church full of all nations praising and worshipping the one true and living God. But please, my brothers and sisters, so let's stop being ignorant. And black people as well, not everybody is a racist. You can be ignorant and you can be prejudiced. In fact, we're all prejudiced. And if we're all honest, in private we say some of the most prejudiced, ignorant things. But that doesn't necessarily make you a racist. So let's stop jumping on the bandwagon of this person's a racist, that person's a racist. Actually, let's have a conversation and let's see if we can iron out each other's prejudices and ignorance, especially as Christians. Because at the end of the day, how are we going to all go to the same heaven if we can't get along down here? So I'm not even going to go too much deeper. I have a lot more I could say, and there's a lot more I'm sure I will say in the future. I don't really like to do solo videos. I don't think I've even done one before, but I just really wanted to talk about that because it's winding me up a little bit. But anyway, God bless you all, and just stay in the spirit. Treat everybody with love and respect, and talk to people, and don't necessarily judge them by the way they look. Even Jesus said, you know, it said about him, he's not going to judge by what he sees or what he hears. You know, he knew the heart of man. So let us actually get into the heart of man, and that's how we'll be able to even win people who don't look like us, by actually trying to understand them. Paul said, I become all things to all people that I might win some. Let us try to understand each other, yeah, and then we can come together and bring people to Christ together and worship in spirit and truth. God bless you, and I'll see you guys later.